Alex Geekley.
Disaster Recovery Policy. A disaster recovery policy is a documented set of guidelines, procedures, and strategies that an organization follows to recover its IT infrastructure, systems, and data in the event of a major disaster or disruptive incident. The policy outlines the measures and actions to be taken to restore business operations, minimize downtime, and ensure business continuity after a disaster. In this lesson we'll learn about 1. Identification of critical systems and defining the RTO and RPO. 2. Prevention, response and recovery strategies. 3. Disaster recovery plan structure. 1. Identification of critical systems. The identification of critical systems is a crucial step in developing a disaster recovery policy. It involves identifying and prioritizing the systems, applications, and infrastructure components that are essential for the organization's continued operations. These critical systems are typically the most vital to the organization's core functions, revenue generation, customer service, or regulatory compliance. Here are some steps involved in the identification of critical systems. 1. Business Impact Analysis. BIA conduct a business impact analysis to assess the potential impacts of system failures or disruptions on the organization. This analysis helps identify the systems that have the highest impact on the business and should be prioritized for recovery. 2. Stakeholder input. Engage stakeholders from various business units and departments to gather their input on the criticality of systems. They can provide insights into the importance of specific systems for their daily operations and customer service. 3. Dependencies and interconnections. Identify the dependencies and interconnections between different systems. A failure in one system could impact other systems, so it is important to understand the relationships and dependencies to prioritize recovery efforts effectively. 4. Service Level Agreements. SLAs review existing service level agreements and contractual obligations with internal or external stakeholders. These agreements may specify certain systems or services that require specific recovery time objectives, RTOs, or recovery point objectives, RPOs. 5. Regulatory and compliance requirements. Consider any regulatory or compliance requirements that may dictate the recovery of specific systems. Certain industries, such as healthcare or finance, have strict regulations regarding data protection and system availability. 6. Impact on customers and reputation. Evaluate the potential impact on customers and the organization's reputation if specific systems were to experience prolonged downtime or data loss. Systems that directly affect customer experience or contain sensitive customer data may be given higher priority. By considering the inputs from stakeholders, conducting a thorough analysis of system dependencies, reviewing SLAs, compliance requirements, and assessing the potential impact on customers and reputation, an organization can identify its critical systems. This information is then used to prioritize recovery efforts, allocate resources, and develop appropriate strategies in the event of a disaster or disruptive incident. 2. Prevention, response and recovery strategies. When developing a disaster recovery policy, it is essential to define strategies for prevention, response, and recovery. These strategies help mitigate the impact of a disaster, effectively respond to the incident, and restore business operations. Here's an overview of each strategy. 1. Prevention strategies. Prevention strategies aim to minimize the likelihood of a disaster or incident occurring and mitigate potential risks. These strategies typically include risk assessment and mitigation. Conduct a comprehensive risk assessment to identify vulnerabilities and potential threats to critical systems and infrastructure. Implement measures to mitigate those risks, such as implementing security controls, redundancy, and robust backup solutions. Security measures. Implement strong security measures to protect systems and data from unauthorized access, cyber attacks, and other security breaches. This may involve using firewalls, intrusion detection and prevention systems, access controls, and encryption. Regular maintenance and updates. Maintain systems and infrastructure regularly by applying patches, updates, and security fixes. Regularly review and update configurations, firmware, and software to ensure the systems are resilient against known vulnerabilities. 2. Response strategies. Response strategies focus on effectively responding to a disaster or incident when it occurs. These strategies typically include: Incident Response Plan. Develop a detailed incident response plan that outlines the steps to be taken during a security incident, including incident detection, containment, eradication, and recovery. Assign roles and responsibilities to the incident response team and define communication and escalation procedures. Incident detection and monitoring. Implement monitoring systems and security controls to detect and alert about potential security incidents in real time. This may involve using intrusion detection systems, log monitoring, security information and event management, SIEM, tools, and endpoint protection solutions. Incident containment and mitigation. Act swiftly to contain the incident and prevent further damage or spread. Isolate affected systems, networks, or components to limit the impact. Implement incident containment procedures defined in the incident response plan. Communication and reporting. Establish clear communication channels to notify stakeholders, management, employees, and relevant authorities about the incident. Define the procedures for incident reporting, including the content, recipients, and timelines. 3. Recovery strategies. Recovery strategies focus on restoring critical systems and returning to normal business operations. These strategies typically include: Backup and restoration. Implement robust backup solutions to regularly back up critical data and systems. Define backup schedules, retention periods, and off-site storage for backups. Develop procedures and tools for efficient and secure data restoration. System restoration. Develop procedures for the systematic restoration of systems and infrastructure after a disaster. Prioritize the recovery of critical systems based on their impact on business operations. Ensure that hardware, software, and configurations are restored to a known good state. Business continuity planning. Develop a business continuity plan that outlines the steps to resume critical business operations during and after a disaster. This may include setting up alternative infrastructure, establishing remote work capabilities, and prioritizing the availability of essential services. Testing and validation. Regularly test the effectiveness of recovery strategies through simulated disaster scenarios or tabletop exercises. Validate the recovery procedures, including data restoration, system recovery, and business continuity measures. By incorporating prevention, response, and recovery strategies into the disaster recovery policy, organizations can proactively protect critical systems, effectively respond to incidents, and ensure a swift and efficient recovery from disruptions or disasters. 3. Disaster recovery plan structure. A well-structured disaster recovery plan provides a clear framework for responding to and recovering from a disaster or disruptive incident. While the specific structure may vary depending on the organization's needs and industry, here are the key components typically included in a disaster recovery plan. 1. Introduction and scope. Overview. Provide introduction to the plan, its purpose, and its intended audience. Scope and applicability. Define the scope of the plan, including the systems, applications, and infrastructure covered. Specify any exclusions or limitations. 2. Roles and responsibilities. Incident response team. Identify the individuals or teams responsible for managing and executing the plan. Outline their roles, responsibilities, and contact information. External contacts. Provide a list of external contacts, such as emergency services, vendors, or third-party service providers, along with their contact details. 3. Risk assessment and business impact analysis. Risk assessment. Document the findings of the risk assessment, including identified threats, vulnerabilities, and their potential impacts on critical systems and business operations. Business impact analysis. Outline the results of the business impact analysis, identifying critical systems, their dependencies, and recovery priorities based on their impact on the organization. 4. Prevention and preparedness. Prevention measures. Document preventive measures implemented to minimize the risk of disasters or incidents, such as security controls, redundancy, and regular maintenance. Incident preparedness. Describe the proactive steps taken to prepare for potential incidents, including training, drills, and testing of response and recovery procedures. 5. Incident response procedures. Incident detection and reporting. Outline the procedures for detecting and reporting security incidents. Include the tools, systems, and monitoring mechanisms used. Incident response phases. Define the step-by-step procedures for each phase of incident response, including incident assessment, containment, eradication, and recovery. Specify the actions to be taken, personnel involved, and communication protocols. Remember that a disaster recovery plan should be regularly reviewed, updated, and tested to ensure its effectiveness and alignment with the organization's evolving needs and risks.
Thanks for watching. For more information, like, comment, and subscribe our channel.